The next speaker I would like to introduce is Mr. Alvin Ong. He is our candidate for Pioneer. 翁明顺先生，让我们掌声欢迎他。
Dear fellow residents, my name is Alvin, candidate for Pioneer SMC. Like many Singaporeans, I am a blue-collar worker. I am deeply concerned about the welfare of the current major workforce, especially the blue collars. The million-dollar question is, why does Singapore not have a minimum wages? Most developed countries have a minimum wage. Most developed countries have one, either by law or successful negotiate through unions. But PAP is the only first world government that stubbornly refused to think about this. But a minimum wage is beneficial for Singaporeans. Why? Because it helps to level the playing ground that is currently tilted in favor of foreign workers who do not share the same cost of living as us Singaporeans. A minimum wage is also encourage employers to increase productivity rather than increase profit by cutting costs, by cutting your salaries. So, why does the PAP reject minimum wage? Because they choose to pursue a policy of economic growth at all costs. Their idea of growth is to bring a cheap labor just to make a few dollars more of profit. We also get a clue by looking at what action they take as alternative to minimum wage. For example, the budget announced millions of dollars who will be given to business to fund wages increases to implementation of workfare schemes. When you lost your job, the PAP will send you to workfare scheme. But this still doesn't do anything help to stop the direct competition of your salary. So, why should a minimum wage policy be implemented? These are the key points. 1. The minimum wage policy prevents the wages of low-income workers from falling further due to competition with foreign workers, or from the greed to make more profits. 2. To improve workers' confidence in seeking better jobs and allow unemployed to take up alternative employment such as contract work instead of waiting for higher paid permanent position. It established a fairer employment environment for all workers. 4. It motivates the low-income workers to perform better and achieve higher productivity, which would contribute towards the healthy economic growth. 5. It helped to reduce the income gap between the rich and the poor by increasing spending power. By setting a minimum wage that cover the cost living, it reduced the number of families required social assistance from the government, and therefore reduced the volume of social problems. Although we need some foreign work laborers to work in our economy. Minimum wage should be put in place to protect low-income Singaporeans. Over the years, Singapore laborers' movement have lost their rights and dignity. Without a strong voice, the labor movement and the difficulties faced by workers are simply ignored by the PAP. Allowing the PAP to replace Singaporeans with cheaper workers. We now hold unstable jobs and live in fear of losing them. Even though inflation pushed up our cost of living, our salary face competition. If this continues, the next generation will face even greater challenge and uncertainty. Therefore, there is a need to have an alternative power in Parliament to ensure the average working Singaporeans do not be neglected by government policy. Each and every citizen is valuable to the society, regardless of profession, race, qualification, or family backgrounds. So, on this election, make sure you send a strong signal to the PAP. It's time to tell the PAP this clearly. We are not numbers in your economic reports. So, vote for opposition NSP, and Singaporeans deserve better. Thank you.